How on earth is this real? How is this real? And it's not even the worst part. It's literally not even the worst part. The Last Supper. Really? The Last Supper, except staffed with drag queens at the Olympics. Really? That's what you went with? Man, I'm going to go thermonuclear on this video. Welcome back to Play With Matches, where we sometimes cover important things like this and other times we don't. But today, Gabrielle, what are we going to talk about?
The Olympic opening ceremonies, which were interesting.
Quite shocking.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, like if I was going to characterize the choices made by the team that put this together, I would say I don't think that you understand the global, what's the nature of the Olympics, right?
Right.
How many times do all the countries of the world come together for a single event where everyone's going to put their differences aside? You know, like during the weeks, it's like Ukraine, Russia are blowing each other up. China is going to invade Taiwan. Yeah. Israel is destroying the world in Gaza and blah. Everyone's just like guns down, love up. We're just going to compete in sport. Sports. We're doing this all together. They do it once every 2 years, you know, the winter and summer, but not even every year. One time every 2 years.
For not a long time.
Very short time. And the spirit of which is let's all be accepting of world global cultures so that we can all come together and have this great time together. Let's not be judgy, you know. Let's understand that other people may not have the same views as us, and let's just have a good time and definitely not become preachy, woke, gutter trash that ruins the entire thing.
Also, in accordance with what you're saying, the hosting country has the honor of representing their country in the opening ceremonies. Like that's like your big thing that you get for hosting. And France made a fascinating choice.
They chose to mock one of the largest global religions. And I realize that people who are woke don't understand what it means for people to have faith. They don't understand it. They just know they hate it. And so maybe they're making choices that they don't understand, like mocking. But what's so hilarious, these people are the biggest hypocrites in the history of the world. They are absolute. This is one of these videos that
we're going to have to be very careful.
We're going to have to be very careful because if I spoke freely, 100%.
You might find us pausing.
100,000%. If I said what I'm thinking, this video, something bad happens.
So read between the lines.
I am actually not even going to dance around what I'm thinking. But what I will say is this is one of the, I mean, obviously we're going to show you the clips of the.
I hadn't seen it until today.
I heard, did you hear that the Olympic ceremonies, opening ceremonies went woke? And I was like, all right, I watched it. It was legit. I texted her. I'm like, watch this. I'm like, it's 10 times worse than I expected. And then I was still watching it. Then I finished it. I'm like, check that, 100 times worse. It's the most repulsive thing I've ever seen, ever. If you have to understand the context.
But it's also, it just makes no sense.
It makes perfect sense
to do that.
If you're them.
Who hosted last summer? China? Was China the last Summer Olympics?
China did the Winter Olympics.
Was it? So whatever. Their opening ceremony was bananas.
Oh, you're thinking of the Beijing ones that were like really bananas.
Yeah.
That was like, that was the one
thousands of people out.
That was incredible.
Unbelievable.
And all anyone talked about, they're all, China just let the world know, like, China's here to stay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a statement, and it was inspiring and amazing, and like a cultivation of having people work together in a way that was literally like mind-blowing to watch the coordination that went into that ceremony.
The number of people that you could turn into a cohesive unit, beautiful performance.
Yes. But it was a statement about like who China is. Like, we are the People's Republic of China. Like, And whether or not you're
Exactly.
Team China or not, whatever, they represented themselves in a way that they were like, this is who we are. France chose drag queens.
They chose to give the middle finger to basically everyone in the world. Like there's who, aside from your little woke cult, was going to think that this was cool for you to recreate the Last Supper with drag queens?
Yeah.
Like, what absolute imbecile was put in charge of this performance and had someone with creative control look at that and go, yeah, because, they're like, this'll get them talking. And you're like, that's not the point of the Olympics, you self-centered, narcissistic crack baby.
And I mean, the thing also for me is the Olympics is traditionally something that families sit down and watch together. Again, I don't care what people do. I don't care that drag queen's drag queen.
Dude,
I literally don't care. But I don't want them at children's story time. And I don't want them at the opening ceremony of the Olympics that families are sitting down watching together. Again, anytime that I'm put in a position where I have to explain sexuality or choices to children that I wouldn't typically be having that conversation with, that's where I get angry and annoyed.
And the thing is, though, in all fairness,
Mommy, why is that man with a beard wearing a dress? Why do I have to explain that?
In all seriousness, though, I'm going to speak for Gabrielle real quick and say we actually don't really care. We'll explain it to our kids.
We will.
But her and I are, I mean, I will give myself and her the same compliment. We are very good at connecting with people, and that's because we are very empathetic and we understand other people and we respect where they're coming from no matter what. Like find a group. I talk a lot of shit on my channel.
No way.
Find a group that feels like I've been disrespectful towards them. You won't ever find one. I respect everyone's global culture because I'm not
this video
stupid.
Playing in the background. I can't even. It's so distracting.
I know. Oh, so let's just
let
me go like that.
Thank you.
There's I am not dumb, simple-minded, and narcissistic enough to think that I would not think the way that most people do in these other, groups if I were born into that group. But these people, they're like, it's our coming out time. Oh, Christianity, it's over. It's time for us to stomp on your grave. We're blowing out your candle. We're here to stay.
Think that they meant to
1,000% they meant to do that. Absolutely, no question.
To create the Last Supper.
Absolutely, 100%. There is no question. That is part of their whole thing, is mocking Christianity, where you're like, and in their mind, they're all, well, Christianity hates us, so we hate them, and you're like, that's not time for that, dude.
Yeah.
This is the Olympics, okay? And honestly, you're worried, like, what are you trying to accomplish exactly? Okay, because when they were trying to accomplish, we want equal rights, we just want to be accepted. I'm like, hell yeah,
cool.
dude.
Great.
Get on board. They're like, we want to get married. I'm like, absolutely.
Excellent.
Get on board. Okay? When you now have a little bit of power and what you use that power to do is to stick the middle finger in everybody's face, now you're creating people that really dislike you. I dislike you. Not people, not gay people or drag queens. You, the person that thought that was a good idea.
Exactly.
And knowingly stuck a middle finger to the entire world. You're garbage. You are not a good person. You think you're a good person. You're not.
You're not doing good.
You are a trash bag. You are an angry, vindictive garbage pail kid. You think you're defending people? Kid. You really believe that? You think that you're like a creative expression, that you're defending people who are the downtrodden. Fuck you. No one is dumb enough to think that the drag queens are getting their faces stepped on right now. You have power, so you're trying to step on everyone else's face for revenge. You're like, you really want to play this fucking game? That's really what you want to do? Mm-hmm. You just want to take all the progress that you made and then just run it backwards, and then so that you can go, these people are homophobes. No, we're not. No, we're not at all. People can live however they want.
That's true.
But don't put this shit, the opening ceremonies, when you know that there's a gigantic group of people who are not down with that lifestyle, just like you're not down with Saudi Arabia chopping off people's hands if they get caught stealing. What if literally, like if they did Saudi Arabia Olympics, do you really think that they would put a thing up and they would stone a woman to death? And then or like throw a homosexual off of a building?
Is this going to get us demonetized?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
It wouldn't. Like, seriously, do you think that if Saudi Arabia had put on their like, opening ceremony and they threw a gay person off of a roof, like, would you be like, what the hell? It's like, no, they wouldn't do that because they know that's another culture and this is not about that.
Not the place for it. Yeah.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Let's watch it.
I mean, that's a little bit dramatic, but it's pretty bad.
No, I'm talking the worst thing I've ever seen at the Olympics. It's so disrespectful. It's insane. Like either this matters.
Why do I?
Like this stuff means something or it doesn't. And like the Olympics is a really big deal.
It is.
It's not just a TV show. Like this is the only time where everyone sets all the war aside, comes together, respects each other, competes in like the Olympics could just vanish, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's like everyone's all fuck it, dude. We hate those guys. They just vanish. That's what you tried to drive. You pathetic. Pierce Morgan, he said, by the way, what the fuck was all this about? A drag queen mockery of the last summer at the Olympics? Would they have mocked any other religion like this? Appalling decision. Agree.
From Pierce
But it would have been just as bad if it was any other
religion. Yeah.
You could pick Scientology and I would be like, what are you doing? Why would you do that here? So, in case there's any, misconception about whether or not that is what they were doing.
Is that a kid out there too?
Uh-huh. Yeah, of course.
It is.
They have to do that. That is 100% intentional. Also, there is
I missed the kid.
Literally, absolutely no question that is exactly what they were trying. That's exactly what they were doing.
I totally missed the kid the first time.
And then there you go. Compare the two. I mean, there's like, she's wearing the headdress. It's an absolute certainty that is what they were trying to do.
I mean, the headdress to me is the Statue of Liberty. Wasn't the Statue of Liberty a gift from France to the United States? Am I wrong about that?
No, it was, but that's not what this is.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, like I'm not, I obviously think this was ridiculous. Just like a little devil's advocate-y. Like, do you think in any scenario it's possible that they just happen to be lined up and it looked like that?
0%. Every single news organization in the world is covering this, and they're saying they mock Christianity.
All saying the Last Supper.
They're all saying the Last Supper, and no one is coming out and disputing it because that's exactly what they were doing, and they probably think this is a good thing. Like that's how fucked in the head these people are. Like they think this is a good thing that like everyone's talking about it. And then here's Emmanuel Macron, drag queen, receives the eternal flame of the Olympic torch, thus guaranteeing. I don't. Are you serious?
Again, no. I'm saying like if I for real legit have no issues with drag queens whatsoever.
I don't either.
Like I really legit don't. I think it's performance art. Like I really, really have zero issue. It's just like, but why do we need to highlight it at the Olympics
when you know that it's not cool with a lot of countries that are coming here? That's the point.
Exactly. That's
the point.
It's rude.
It's not about the drag queens. I don't blame this drag queen right here who got invited to come do the torch. Of course they're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's about the people making it. Like it is literally. And knowing that they are not down with this and you did it anyway and you threw it in their face.
Like on repeat though. Like, I mean, maybe you get your one drag queen to have the torch and you pass it on, you say, yay, okay, yay, inclusivity, move on. Whatever, one person, the world might have been like, why? But then the fact that you make it like this whole huge bit.
Yeah, and here, like, let's,
performing the song King, costumes.
Yeah, we saw this. Okay, so the same thing, but like, where's
the bearded person?
Yeah, I want to show. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
There's some crawling that happens here.
What on earth is this, dude?
Just wait. This is children, mind you. This is a family show aired globally.
And a bearded dude
is crawling.
A bearded drag queen crawling around with their ass out.
What ridiculous.
Is this? What is this doing on the Olympics? Like, this is what I'm saying. If I want to take my
disgraceful.
kid, if I want to take my kid to a drag show and we're like, listen, I mean, I would say
I would not
very
do that.
questionable,
Questionable
parenting decision.
Yeah.
But at the very least, you have to opt in, dude. Okay?
This was
you
on
opt in. You force this
national
down their
free
throat.
television that the whole world tunes into and should expect to be able to sit down with their kids and watch a family-friendly show.
The Olympics is vile and evil at every
Garbage.
level. It's blasphemous, and its performers included children. It is intended for children
that.
to see. It is exactly. It is the spirit of the Antichrist. Dude, honestly, I usually they lose me on that Satanist stuff, but I don't even necessarily disagree with the sentiment that it's like, why are you mocking Christianity all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Exactly. What's wrong
Like,
with
what
you?
is wrong with you? And like, if you actually listen, like, there was a documentary about the Church of Satan or some satanic religion,
Mm-hmm.
and if you listen to them talk about what their religion is, like, they make it sound semi-coherent, like, or not even semi. They make it sound coherent. They're just like, look, we have urges, and we're just like, feed them, dude. Like, do what you want to do, feed them. Like, we don't believe in like this, to where you're like, it sounds like the kind of thing that a person who does not consider themselves a bad person could get on board with. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, those are the people who are mocking Christianity. You're like, so you're on board with the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, that's what you're like. You're on board with the Church of Satan.
Yes.
Well, maybe Satan's got a bad rap. Maybe not.
He's Satan.
Dude, feed your own urges at the who cares about the impact on other people?
Yeah.
That's the part that who cares about other people. If you want to feed your urges, I don't care. I feed mine all the time, but I don't in any capacity
Where
make it
others
affect anyone else except Gabrielle's bad little booty sometimes.
just you shush.
But dude, I mean, it's disgusting, man.
It's disgraceful and insulting is what it is.
I apologize if I monopolized this conversation, but I'm like,
That's
this.
okay. You have a lot of feelings.
It's
this guy for me.
I just
The
literally.
Madonna man with a beard who's crawling on the runway. This is where I can't. Why are they
And
trying
this guy
to
says, at
normalize
this rate,
filth?
Utah will have this drag queen featured married to a little boy on the opening ceremony for the stage at the Winter Olympics 2034. Let's hope we have a governor that will stop it instead of encouraging this behavior in 10 years. Hopefully, I think this is going to be.
Is Utah 2028?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, that shit ain't gonna fly in Utah.
He said 2034.
Oh. Have they already? That's 10 years. That doesn't make
I
sense.
think he's just making a point that, like, if this continues in 10 years.
Well, it's a terrible point because the math doesn't math. Anyways.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
No, if it's the Winter Olympics in Utah.
Okay.
Yeah. Drag queen freaks mocking Jesus in the Last Supper as part of the. Yeah, I won't be watching a single second of these
Look
already
at this little
perverse
girl.
games.
By the way, the little kid at the drag queen supper at the Olympics is a little boy
No, it's not.
who was transitioned to a girl. Ironically, trans athletes are. We don't know this for sure, do we? I don't know. This is someone's random tweet. I don't
It's true.
know.
But let's look into it. Is that true?
Looks like a hostage video. I don't know. We'll have to research that on the side. We don't know.
I mean, this is not like the worst point ever. You know, this upsets your sweet little heart. Catholic dioceses in the U.S. have paid over $3 billion to compensate to sexual abuse victims. Okay, you want to know the difference about that, though? You want to know what
Christianity
the
and
primary
Catholicism are
difference
not the same thing. Go
is?
ahead.
That is the behavior of a handful of sick puppies who went into, the
They
priesthood.
found a position of power.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not your entire worldview
Yeah.
is like if a kid says they feel like this, now I'm going to get in trouble if I keep talking. And with that, we are going to wrap this up, and I am probably going to go live on my channel right now and rant a little bit more about this particular topic because I don't think I have, I haven't said enough.
Got more to say.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Subscribe to the channel though. We love you guys as long as you're not down with this.